Brothers and sisters. Um, Today I want to talk about radical nonviolence. Last time I talked about anarchy. I don't even know if anyone listens to these ramblings. If you do, kudos, because I don't know if I would have the attention span to do so. Um, Anyways, radical nonviolence. Um, I believe it's what Jesus preached, and I believe it's the really one of the only ways to actually get things done. Um, if you look just throughout history, people who are violent tend to just create more violence, and violence as a means for peace rarely works, and if it does, it's at the expense of a lot of people dying. And Jesus taught another way. Not fight or flight, but kind of look your enemy in the eye and say, I love you, no matter what. Even if you kill me, I'll love you. Even if you kill my family, I'll love you. Even if you bomb my country, I'll love you. No matter what you do, it's not going to change my love for you. And it's that kind of unconditional love that changes the world. And you see that in people like Gandhi and Martin Luther King and Jesus. And I can't think of any other examples right now. But history is littered with people who sought radical nonviolence and who changed the world. And usually the people who choose the way of nonviolence do get killed. Because by truly being a peacemaker, and I'm talking about the kind of peacemaker that Jesus talked about, not like the, peaceful hippies who were like, man, let's just not fight and get along and not do anything and just be lazy. Not that kind of peace, but true peace gets people killed, and it's really dangerous. And I'd say it's probably even more dangerous than using violence. But it's what Jesus taught. He said, love your enemy. And he didn't really give any exceptions to that. He wasn't like, love your enemy unless they try to kill your family and then you can kill them, or love your enemy unless they bomb your country and then, unleash hell on them. He didn't say that. He said, love your enemy, period. And during the time he said that, the Jews were occupied by Rome. So they were essentially asking Jesus, can you help us fight off this evil foreign empire who is committing these atrocities against us? And Jesus' response was, love your enemies. Today, what would that look like? Maybe the Taliban and the Nazis and the communists and all that. And really, it's quite a radical concept to grasp because it really doesn't make much sense in worldly terms. But we got to remember that the kingdom of God is completely antithetical with the kingdoms of the world in almost every single way. Now why radical nonviolence? What are the practical implications of why we should choose that? Well, a while ago, me and a friend had a big conversation on it, and I don't know how he walked away from that conversation but for me, I came to the conclusion that people use violence to get what they want, be it peace or selfish gains. I'm going to use violence because I want to protect my family, or I want to use violence because I want what you have and I'm willing to kill you to get it. But regardless of whatever the situation is, people use violence. And when followers of Jesus use violence as a means to peace, in essence, we're showing the world violence is the only way. If you want to get something done, you have to be violent about it. If you want to make peace, you have to use violence. If you want harmony, you have to use violence. And by using violence, Christians and followers of Jesus, whatever religion you're part of, when we use violence as a means for peace, we are showing the world violence is the only way. And Jesus says, no, there's another way. The way of love, the way of redemption, the way of reconciliation, the way of the cross. And it's dangerous and dirty and grimy, and you got to get creative, and you really got to think outside of the box. Like, how can I show my enemies I love them? How can I be a peacemaker without using violence? And yeah, so I'd say that's my argument for radical nonviolence, as far as why followers of Jesus should be radically nonviolent, because by using violence, we're showing the world that violence is the only way to solve something. And I believe with all my heart that there is another way. It's not fighting your enemy with force and violence, and it's not running away and avoiding the problem, but it's looking your enemy in the eye and showing them with word and deed the unfathomable, crazy, insane, illogical, incomprehensible love of God. And you see that in the life and death of Jesus. I mean, he truly did love his enemies to the point of getting killed. I mean, he was hanging naked on a cross. The Roman soldiers were mocking him. Oh, if you're really God, I bet you can get off that cross. And they were, gambling for the dude's clothes. Like, that's pretty sick and humiliating. Yet, what was Jesus' response? His response wasn't, I'm God, you guys are gonna regret this. No, his response was, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. That's the kind of love that gets people killed. That's also the kind of love that changes the world. So yeah, think about it, pray about it. If you have any comments or whatever, let me know, if anybody even watches this. Alright, shalom, peace be with you.